woolieCottage.com. I'll wait a little bit, but for those that are joining us on the catch-up later on, last week's live chat, I decided that we were going to start, just for the time being, probably on the run-up to Christmas, I'm going to try and get over here every Wednesday for a interactive live chat. So either I'll do demos or just come on for a natter with you. You can ask questions and maybe I can use those questions and those answers and decide on what next week's topic's going to be for our little interactive. So last week, nattering away and I was explaining what's been going on and just keep getting you up to date with everything that's been happening behind the scenes. And in that chat, I mentioned about a comment on one of my videos, not a nasty one about how to put the colour palettes together, and what they were looking for was actually I'd been putting up old videos from my Patreon while I was on a hiatus away from YouTube, and I hadn't uploaded the one that talked about how to find colours or put colours together, because there is a more detailed one over on my Patreon platform, which I'm not going to show. I'm not going to go into massive detail because the video is about an hour long, but you can access it by going over there, but I'll mention that later on, because a lot more videos over there than I actually have over here. Some of them I got a bit more depth and detail about how I put things together and how I come up with colours, and some of those, especially the back ones that run the run up until August, they were 3 videos, and the 4th one was dyeing, so dyeing up the wheels from being inspired from colour inspirations that were voted from the Patreon members. So I thought, right, well, in a couple of weeks' time I've got my virtual festive market over on Instagram, and the theme is the Nutcracker. So what I was going to do is talk you through how I'm going to put the colours together, and I've literally just had my stock order in with what I hope will work for the theme that I've got coming up. So there's different ways that I come up with these ideas. Beforehand, before I do, oh, 1 minute, there's a big sucker there. It's from a Christmas wreath. It looks awful. It looks like a clamp. Right, so before I realised that Pinterest was a brilliant source, I used to use a Google search, but before Google search, I have this book here, which was a really good way of me, because I'm more of a weaver than I am using my hand-spun wool in knitting. I use my hand-spun wools when I have the time. If I just need I need an 8-day week at the moment. Is this weaving book. It's called Creative Weaving by Sarah Howard and Elizabeth Kendrick. I've shown this book before. Now and again, there's some older videos where I do little book reviews. Not so much book reviews, but the books that I have in my stash. And I'll probably have to do one of those again, because I've got a lot more books since then. But whether I get the time to do anything is a completely different matter altogether. So with this book, it not only tells you about how to warp up your loom in a more easier way of doing things. Hold on a second. Just bear with me a sec. I need to community moderation, live chat, anyone can participate. Okay, there we go, subscribers only. Okay, so yeah, so this book shows you how to warp up your loom, your rigid head of loom and everything else, just from scratch as a beginner. And it was one of the first books I got. I actually bought it from a customer of mine, Sue. And it's actually signed by Sarah Howard and Elizabeth Kendrick inside. So it's one of these books I will never ever give away, because it's been signed. And I like Sarah Howard, she's brilliant. She comes up with the most amazing designs that you can make with your woven fabric. So in there, there's different colours that you could put together, and it just gave me the inspiration of what would work when I was weaving and what would look really, really pretty together. So this is a really good asset to have. I don't even know if you can get hold of it anymore. Wilder Books might have it. It's there, and the colours sort of matrix together, so you can put like yellows and oranges and peaches together and those sort of colours, and with the hopes that you can get that. And it was a really good source of inspiration. You've got all those colours there. and then it shows you samples of what it could potentially look like. A lot of time when you're mixing colours that are from a similar background, you'll morph into a specific colour. If you put pinks and purples together, they will take on a dominant tone, and from a distance they look like one colour, but it's not till you get up close to them that you realise it's not. It's a mixture of all sorts of colours. So yeah, so this was a really good book when I first started out. I had my own ideas and everything else anyway, and I took a lot of inspiration from nature around me, and I've sort of diverged from that over the years. Another good resource is this. It's actually a wedding. It's actually a wedding planning book. It's called a colour grid, and it's colourgrid.net. I think it's an American company because it's got it's spelt differently from the UK words. There you go, colour grid. And what you do is you can do it any which way. So you get this chart and it's got all these different colours, and then you can put the colours together or pick from there, and it shows you the different variations and shades, and then gives you a hint of what colours will go with it. And you can do it that way, or you can do it that way, and it shows that you could actually probably get away with a peachy colour with those colours. It's really a handy tool to have. So that was another one, and it's actually been designed so that it says ingenious tool, makes selecting colours simple. It's based on the science of colour wheel in a form that's easy to use. The template reveals how colour families relate to each other, making a choice clearer. Take a handy tool along with you, selection for your special day. So it was like getting bouquets and your flower invitations. So like if your wedding theme, say, for example, was in these colours, then it shows that you can add them to those colours or vice versa, sort of like that. Okay, so that's another really good handy gadget that I got a couple of years back from doing an online course. So there's that one. So alternatively, you can go on, and I'll turn the camera around so you can see. The screen might be a little bit wibbly wobbly because you're obviously looking at computer. But how I started off, and I will turn you around now. Where are we? Computer. Okay, so you're down on the computer there. You can actually see what I'm doing. And what I'll do is I'll bring my keyboard forward. Move my cup right the way. Okay. I'll move you up that way so you can actually see it a bit better. Okay. So what I want to look for is, say we'll go with the most common colour, purple. Right, so I'll type in purple in my search. Colour combo. Right, so there we go. Colour combination there. And then it gives me a load of different ideas. But from doing that, I will then go into images. And it gives me an even better selection of different colours that will work really well with purple. So like, for instance, this one here. So it's saying here that I can use this electric violet, the lighter shade, more of an orchid sort of pinky tones in there. Then you've got this teal. Then you've got more of a mid-range purple. Then you've got this midnight blue, and then it goes into really dark eggplant purple. And it shows that you can put those colours together quite easily, though you may not actually have thought that they would go well together. This one always makes me think of sunrise or sunset, where you've got these hot colours going into these really dark colours. And if you actually paired them up in this way, as in a gradient art bat or in a Rolex, or even dyeing up your rovings in these colourways in a gradient, then you are going to give yourself this midnight, like summer dusky sort of colours, sunsets. There's another one, gives you a more colder colour palette there, the same purple, but going into this really vibrant teal, aqua green, into a mid-range blue, then a really bright, vivid bluey purple, and then up through the scale. Also is this one, this version here. You've got these dark purples, then it goes into grey, and then it goes into the blues, and that's very coastally sort of looking. That makes me think of the sky over the sea, and as I'm right next door to the sea, literally a walk away, then that's always a really good option for me if I'm looking for inspiration from where I live. Now up the top here, it gives you another variety of different colours, things. You can have, like, you've got living room, lavender, then it goes into dark purple, matching. You can also put in, up the top here, instead of combination, put purple and colour palette. There we go. So if I do click on that search there, it gives me the exact same sort of thing, but then it gives me alternative colourways to look at. Sorry about that. My postman just come for the last of my Christmas advents. And the dogs go leapy when the postman turns up. And God knows how they knew that he was there, because they weren't at the window looking. So yeah, so you can do this as well. So you literally just go onto your Google search engine. Well, for me, Google search engine, because that's the one that I use all the time. I don't use Safari or Microsoft, but that's not to say that you can't. They don't have an images click button up the top. You can always put in purple colour palette and type in images, or click on whatever it shows up. But for me, my main is Google. So this is really nice as well. This has got more of a royal sort of look to a regal. So you've got these dark purples, and then you've got this heather lilac colour, cream, and then into gold. Or it's more of a straw sort of colour. But that's really good basis to put together. And you can dye your roving up, starting off in sections with that colour, then go into the cream, or leave the cream out and stick with 3. So for me personally, I would just go with 3, that straw colour, then I would go into this violet purple, and then I would go into this darker purple, and then I would use this cream when I go to blend, and I would use that lavender as my highlight colours on the art bat. That's how I would do it. I generally stick, if I can, with 3 main colours, and then if I've got 2 other colours out of that grouping, like this is 5, then I use those 2 to offset these colours so they don't become really dominant and fight over each other. These ones complement that, and that complements that one. So for me, this is a really good guide to give me ideas. I could technically just go with that one, and that one, and then use the dark purple and the goldy colour as my highlights, and use that as a gold glitter. And then if I've got any dark purple mulberry silk, then I would add that in as well as my highlights. But it's up to you to play with. This is what I mean about the sunset thing. So here you've got, it's sunset, you've got these peachy colours all the way through into these dark purples. So for me, the dominant colour is this dark silhouette, and then the night sky at the top. So I could get away with just dyeing one roving in this really, really dark purple, and a deep purple. And then to go with that, to complement it, I could really go with those 3 colours over the top of it, and just doing a wishy-washy sort of look. So as you want to spin that art bat, then you're going to get, this is the background colour consistently all the way through. But these 3 colours are going to pop out every so often. And then I could use a peachy colour over the top to highlight, maybe dye up some mulberry silk noil, or just silk noil or something like that, and add that as my highlight colour. So there you go. So I've put the settings for the time being, because I've got no moderators, it's only me here. But if you're a subscriber, you can actually leave comments below. If you've got any queries or questions, or you want to know anything that I've spoken about, you can always add them into the comments after I've finished this live chat. If there's any questions you're not sure about, or any details that I'm leaving out, or I'm just talking a bit too fast and you're not quite sure what I'm going on about, I'm just going to give this another 5 minutes, and then I know that it's just the people that normally come on here that if you go over and subscribe, you can interact and leave a comment or questions down below, and I'll get to you. But it's just from my own peace of mind, because Phil's at work And Sandra's away busy with family stuff at the moment, but you can always leave a comment afterwards and say, but I will bring in the settings off in a minute, so if you don't subscribe, I'm not subscribed yet, you'll be able to put in a comment or ask me any questions. So alternatively, you have got, I'll pop you down again, right, so there we go. So you've got Pinterest. So I'll just wait for that to open up. Now, at the moment, actually, we'll not do Pinterest yet. I want to show you something. I want to show you something first. Right, so if you type in, this is something that I used to work with years ago when I was a lot more into my art, is your artist colour palette book. So you get your artists such as your watercolour artists and your oil artists, especially if you're new into it, like you're a student, and you're looking for different ways of putting colours together. Now you have got your colour wheel, and you can order one of those online from that you-know-what store for a couple of pounds if you want to go down that route, just to get you, if you're not really sure about colours and how they work together, get yourself a really good quality, lots of different colours and variations on a colour wheel, and that will help you decide on what opposites go together and what are complementary and what are really, really close combinations, the different colds and hot tones. Because you wouldn't think of putting purple and orange together, but sometimes they look really amazing together. Purple and lime green look fantastic together, but it's not something that you would think of collaborating. So if you type in artist colour palette books, you can get everything from these sort of things. And what they do, this one here specifically, can you see that? You can't really see that. I'll pop it up in a minute. But you can get these books where they've got different colour combinations with the pictures next to it. So it helps you learn how to see colours in a picture. I get a lot of inspiration from pictures, and sometimes my customers, when I'm doing a custom order, they'll say, I love this picture, or I took this picture on holiday and I want to knit up something or spin something that have these in there. Can you put them together? And we will sit, and we'll message back and forth, and I'll be like, right, these are the colours I can see. What can you see in there? Are these colours what you're looking for? And that's the same sort of thing of what these books are for. So have a look. Now I'm going to go onto this site, and I'm not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for the theme, this is the artist palette, the palettes behind the paintings of 50 great artists. Now this, and I'll see if it'll bring up the pictures for me. There we go. So I'm just going to click through the pictures, and what it shows you is you've got this painting by Berthe Morisot, okay? But what they've done is they've been able to get the paint palette that they used. I want to bring you over a bit. The paint palette, so you can actually identify the colours in there. Now sometimes when you're looking at these colours here, they genuinely, you can see them popping out. You've got this really soft dusky egg blue and these tealy greens, and then you've got these tealy blues in the background. You've got the sky, and then you've got the brickwork in the background there, and these sandy colours here as well, and you've got some off creams and bits of white. Now that's fine, you can see them straight away, but some people can't see that. So by looking at this in the book, you can see the colours that they've used. They've used ochre and rusty reds, they've used greys in there, and they've used like a duck egg green and things like that, and the hints of blue, they mix them together. So it's a really good sort of resource if you're learning to see how pictures are put together, colours are combined together. So this one, you wouldn't think it's got all these colours in here. So you've got these dark mid blues, and then you've got the whites, and you've got lilacs in here and purples that have been used, and they've been dabbed together. Like this one here, obviously white's been added into this reddy colour, and then a hint of green's been added in to bring down a different tone. This one here is literally just blues and added the white in. This one down here, you've got the black, you've got hints of orange in there, and then you've got this green, probably an aqua green, that's been darkened down by the black. So it's just about being able to read what's in a picture, looking at the in-depth colours. That one, you can automatically see it's got raspberry pinks in there, it's got burgundies in there, it's got these soft pistachio greens, it's got a sapphire blue. it's got the blacks in there and these wishy-washy yellows and these bright greens. But if you look at the colour palette, it tells you a different story. But that's not to say that you couldn't be inspired by this. Then you've got these colours down here as well, which are the same colours that have been used from this colour palette. So they've got this grey blue, then it goes into this lime green, bright orange, sapphire blue, and then this orange again. You could do that in a roving and be inspired by a picture. It's the same principle. So yeah, you've got that. Artist colour books. Come out of this, and I've probably got some in my my actual books anyway. Artists colour palette books. Right, here we go. Let's see if it's got any pictures to show you. Nope, that one hasn't. I'll go back again and see if I can find a book that has got that sort of thing in there. But this is what we're looking at. We're looking at art, the colours of art. There's another one here. Right, so it's showing you these, and I'm just going to carry on through, see if we can find. Right, so here we've got a painting of Joseph My-Lord's William Turner, the burning of the Houses of Parliament. So you've got this is a really dominant colour here, but it's showing you the colour palette that's within that. So you've got this really deep dusky blue, then you've got this mid-tone blue, and you've got this russet red, and then you've got the ochre yellow, and then you've got this really off-white sort of slightly grey colour. So this is another version that you can use, and you can use this as an inspiration, and then you go and find the colours that have been used within it. So here we can see this mauve, there's gold, there's off-white, and you've obviously got black, and you've probably got like this really deep navy blue in the background, and you've got this brilliant scarlet red with darker versions, tones in there as well. But if you look at this, it has, there you go, the mauve, the berry red, you've got this off-white, you've got the gold, and then you've got this very dark black. So it's just an idea of where you can find resources. If you're looking for Christmas present ideas, this is definitely a good way to go, just to get you started on thinking about how colours work together and what colours you'd never think of putting together. Trying to think if there's anything, see if there's anything else. There we go, another one here. Colour palette book. So those just show you, it's just basic, it's not giving you inspiration for pictures, but it helps you form ideas of your fuchsia pink, then your purple, your dark blue, then a mid blue, and then your turquoise. And then you've got these colours down here as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice variation. You could go and pick up colour swatches from your local DIY shop. There we go. Right, let me just take out the filter. Nope, hold on a minute. Okay, sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. I've got a bit of fluff stuck in my throat. I've been sewing all morning. I've got a dog right behind my feet. Oh dear. So I've taken the moderation off, so if you want to leave a chat or whatever, a question underneath, you're more than welcome to. As soon as I see it, I'll let you know. So what I'm working on at the moment is putting on the 24th of on the 24th of November, which is a Sunday, I'm doing my virtual Christmas market, my virtual festive market. Right, Nutcracker. Oh, there we go. Nutcracker ballet as well. So I do, last year, didn't really do a theme as such, but I did have my gonks out. That's not a euphemism for anything, me gnomes. So this year I thought I'll make it a little bit fun, and I will do my new art bats, what will be squirreling aside, my new art bats and my rovings, and I will do a small selection of Rolex. But they will be in the Nutcracker theme, and I'm basing it off the ballet, the costumes on there, and from the movie, the Nutcracker movie that's coming out this month, I think it is. So, with that in mind, I've printed off these, but this is where I go. So I will go onto Pinterest or wherever I want to go to search for stuff, and I will type in the theme that I've got a thought for, and there I end up with a collection of different ideas. So you've got this one, there's a ballet, so you've got the ballet, and I can save that to a list saying Nutcracker, so I know where to go. And I do this every time I've got a big project going on. What else can we go with? This one here, there you go, it's another one, the Nutcracker with a humongous Christmas tree, because she's supposed to represent a child, and the whole story is about herself and this little wooden soldier called Philip. What else have we got? Nutcracker. Then you've got these colour ideas here. You've got in this picture, I'm going to try and blow this up a little bit for you if it's possible. No, it's not. Wait a minute. There we go. That one. So this one has got a really soft pink background, and then you've got this delphinium blue and a lighter shades, and then you've got these rusty oranges in there, or more of a red, and darker shades of red, pink, and what else we've got in there, more of a ruby red, and then we've got these olive greens. And you could use some of those colours in there to be inspired, and you would probably come up with something. For me, for some reason I can't find my list. I'm probably not logged in. I'm not going to do that yet. I thought I had. Right, I'm going to go and look for Nutcracker costumes. So Nutcracker costumes, and see what it comes up with. Just give it a minute. There we go. So the Nutcracker costumes, I can do the ballet, I can do the Sugar Plum Fairy. Here we go, there's a picture here. These are from the Nutcracker, the ballet dancers, the flower costume. So these are really, really pretty. So you've got this pinky, you've got this fluorescent. So I could really do a fluorescent colour roving and do the same with the bat, and then I could do it as Rolex, but using a off cream as my background colours is really, really inspirational. So with that, I have got a selection of images that have saved, and already I've started putting in my colour ideas of what I think I can see on that image. So I have got silver, light blue, and a soft teal. On this one over here, oh, there we go. This one over here, I've got peach, gold or cream, silver grey, and a muted white. Because this picture's showing it's quite blue, but on the actual saved image, it's more of a white. And then I've got this other character down here. I've got teal, copper, bronze, and a hint of yellow. And that one, and then this is one of the costumes from the new movie for the Sugar Plum Fairy, and I've got orchid pink, silver, glitter, and mauve. So with those as ideas, I mean, I've got some other images in the background. I've got obviously the Nutcracker soldier, and then I've got more inspirational pictures in the background, and I just write my notes at the side, and I do this when I do my Christmas advents and when I do my Easter bundle sets. There's a lot more work goes into them behind the scenes, thinking about how I'm going to do it beforehand. So what I'm going to do now is look at the Sugar Plum Fairy, and if I looked at those pictures and I wasn't really sure where to go, as in I can see the colours there, but I'm thinking, right, will they go together? Is there another colour that I'm missing out that might actually look really well and help tie them all together? So what I'm going to do is orchid, on a minute, orchid pink, silver, and mauve. Have I typed that right? Yeah, I have. Mauve colour palette. Type that in there and see what it comes up with. So there we go. I can go, I mean, that's a really lovely colour palette. all together, and I could pick out certain colours of those to give me what I'm looking for. From this picture here, you can see that darker mauve, and then you can see the lighter pinks, and then there's glitter in there. So I want to incorporate the glitter because it's Sugar Plum Fairy, and I think I went with opalescent, I think. So I could go with that colour there, this one here, as my base colour, and then I could add on a little bit of this more grey blue, it's like a storm grey, as my secondary colour. But I don't want to go any darker than that, so I would probably look for a lighter version of this, or more of a really pale pink is where I'm thinking would really help me bring and tie these colours in together to create an art bat or a roving or Rolex that are going to be inspired by that colour palette. Okay, so this one here, this costume, is silver, light blue and soft teal. So let's have a look. I'm going to type it in again. So I'll do this as my last search. Silver, light blue and soft teal colour combo. I will type in this time just to show that you can get the same thing. So have we got anything here that's sticking in my mind that will work well from the colours that I've got there? You could go with this one here, but I'd want to darken down these tones. But underneath that, it'll give you other suggestions that may bring out what you're looking for. Now, I could probably get away with this, but minus the beige, and stick with the cream colour. And I could use a little bit hint of that green and maybe swap it for more of a bluey green. And then that would give me, I would maybe swap that for a grey. But from that colour palette there, it helps me come up with an idea of where I could either chop and change colours, but it gives me a rough idea of the colour scheme that I'm looking for that would go really well with this costume. But that's just how I work. Other people work differently from me. I find inspiration in and around things that are around me. I may think, right, how am I going to put these colours together without them being silly looking? And that's where I'll go over and have a look on the internet and look for ideas. In the internet, amazing. But if you haven't got access to the internet all the time, then I would definitely advise go and look for watercolour colour palettes, or watercolour painting colour palettes, and oil painting colour palette books. Go and have a look for those. They can come across as really quite cheap to buy. Go down to your local library. They may even have something as well. And it's definitely a good journey to get going. Get yourself a little cheap set of paintbrushes and a little notebook, and then start just putting these colours together. So if you have to take that book back to the library, then you've got a record of what looks really well together, and you can do your own colour wheel from the colour palette that you've got. And by getting a watercolour paint palette book, it'll actually help you about your colour wheel, and you could create your own colour wheel in the beginning of your notebook. It's just a process, it's a journey. Technically, you're an artist, right? But you're not painting on paper, you're painting on wool. So that's the bit you need to train yourself into doing if you're not really sure how to go about it. Anyway, so I'm just going to unpack this stock box, because this is for my nutcracker. Are you not up on the chair, darling? Up on the chair. Right, that's it. I've had a fly going around this room for about a week now, and you never hear him. He just hovers around upstairs. I can't catch him, and he drives Iona nuts. And you think, it's November, mate. Why are you still here? Why are you still here? Right. Oh dear. So with that thought in mind about the different characters that I'll be working with, I have got a little bit. Now, some of the colours I've bought are solid colours that are already mill dyed. The colours that I want as my background colours to go with these, so like I go pistachio, for the, or even a sky blue for that one here, for this one, or even a really soft silver grey, then I've got hopefully the colours that I want here. And if I haven't got those, but I've got the silver grey, then I know that I need to dye up my wool to go with that. So I'll just take out these. So I've got merino. These are my roving wools, my merino bamboo. And what else have we got? Corridors for art bats. I have got merino and bamboo, tencel. I've got a posh one, which is another one for a rovings, which is Lullaby, and that is South American top with tweedy viscose blended in with that. And I think there's something else in there as well, so I'll just plonk them over there. These wheels are all getting, hi Ash, and these wheels are all getting dyed up for the Nutcracker theme over on Instagram. So what else have I got in here? I wanted for the girls, the main character, I can't remember her flaming name now, it'll come to me. For the young lass who's the star of the play, is this dress. And it's this lovely off-white creamy dress with slightly iridescence as well in there. So I may chop and change from both of these different images. We'll see how I feel at the time. But this will probably have a very soft peachy background, and then I'll do pale blue and a darker blue on the top of it. But I want it to have an iridescence around in the look of the wool. So I have got Aurora Crystallina, which has loads of different sort of colours that bounce off this Angelina. Look at that. So I thought, well, that'll give me my opalescence look. I've also got gold, because obviously we've got Ginger, was it Mother Ginger? She's got these orangey rusty colours. So I've got Merino Biscuit, which I'll be using. I have gone for the off-white that we mentioned. So we've got off-white here, which is pearl. And then we've got some lavender, which I thought would be nice to go with Sugar Plum Fairy's dress, which is really quite sweet. And then we have got the softer pink, which could go with the Sugar Plum Fairy's dress. This one here. And we have got, this one, which is obviously, it's got to be used somewhere in here. Lots and lots of gold Angelina in that one. And we have got silver, just soft, which I think would look fantastic with that coat that I was looking at. It's got that off grey colour, so that means I can add in those really softer blues and in with it. We have got sky blue, got quite a bit of this. There we go, sky blue, which is the colour that I was looking at. Then we've got the mid blue as well, because obviously we've got the prince. So he is dark blue. If you look at the picture I've got here, and I don't want to make it look like a flag. So I've got to really think carefully about how I'm going to put it together. That one there. I've got to think really carefully about how I put it together. So I'm thinking more of doing a really dark blue background, using gold glitter in there maybe, with a hint of red, and then you've got the golden cream. So for me, I was thinking along the lines of going with that and that. And then I have got in here somewhere, no, that's not it, should be. No, it's not there. I thought I'd ordered myself some red. I do have some plummy red. Maybe. I may have to dye the red in that, but maybe go with that and something else. But I'm still in the early process. I've got a couple of weeks to get these put together. And then we've got turquoise, which will go really, really well. Oh, thank you very much, Victoria. Thank you. So this one was my idea, one of my sort of, not base colours, but my inspiration for the Mouse King, with that turquoise coat of his. So I was thinking that as a background, the main background colour, and then adding hint of lighter shades on top, even maybe going with the fact that he's got grey in his face with him being a mouse, and adding a bit of light grey in there as complements, which I have got this dusky grey, which I could add that in. That would look really, really nice with the teal, with the turquoise. So yeah, I'm thinking about how I can put the colours together, what colours I need to go and actually dye up. I've got stuff over there that I'll add in as well, but these are just ones that I wanted to add in to this colour theory. Then I've got purple. Why I've ordered purple, there's a reason for why I've added purple. There's got to be a picture in there somewhere. So I've got this one here, which is a merino, and I think it's just a silk blend. That's there. And then I've gone down this route for this one here. So it's got these coppery tones, but there's different shades of it. So there's like these really soft walnut colours in there, and it's got copper in there as well. So the closest I could get to that was that, and it's a bit darker on my side in comparison to what you can see here. So there was that, and then I've obviously got this lighter teal, so that looks fantastic together. Then I could go with, what else have I got in here? I've got this clay as well, which might really work lovely with that. So those three, they look really great. That might actually really work lovely with that that character's costume. And on top of that, if I wanted to add in some highlights, I have got that. Now the blue, you can see the blues on there is quite high Patty. The blue looks quite dominant on there, but I wanted it because it's got these coppery gold colours in there, as well as the whites for highlights. We'll see how I feel. What else have I got? I've got dark green in here. There's obviously a reason why I went with the dark green. This is dark green. That'll be for the Christmas tree. Because obviously you can't forget the Christmas tree when it comes to the Nutcracker. We've got pistachio green. And we've got some mineral, which is a little bit different shade. Not much, but it's a bit of a different shade to the tealy dockhead blue that I've got now. Then we've got merino pewter. See, these colours, oh, I love these sort of colours. And then I have got this one, which is it's called First Snow. There's a viscose in there as well. So this is my Christmas tree that I need to get doing, and I need to look at on my woolly neps or find mulberry silks that I might have, noils that I've dyed up. And we've got the dark purple. There we go. And I've got the gingers for Mother Ginger, and then a little bit more pink for the Sugar Plum Fairy on there. And then this dark plummy colour. And what else we've got? We've got a sandstone colour. So in my mind, I know exactly where I want to go with this. I think the sandstone was meant for the peachy colour, which I've got over there, but I'll also dye up my rovings in the peachy colour. And then I've got some of this iridescent blue. It's called Cobalt Sparkle. So that's the colours I've got. I now need to go away and think about my colour inspirations and see how I can get them to work. What colours stand out more to me in comparison to what I've got in dyed wool, and then I need to go and dye the rovings to work and complement, so I can try and translate the characters that I've picked. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So in, I think it's 2 weeks time now. Yeah, it is 2 weeks because it's 6th of November now. So in about 2 weeks time, I'm doing a virtual festive market over on Instagram like I did last year, and the theme is the Nutcracker. So on there it's a special event. It's on Sunday the 24th of November, the weekend before Thanksgiving for anyone that's over in America. I was asked not to do it the weekend after because of that. No, everybody be busy. So I'll be doing it then. It'll be 1 o'clock on the Sunday afternoon over on my Instagram account. And I will show bits and pieces. It's a bit of a show and tell. What new stock I've made specifically for this. It in this colour theme. Any new products that I haven't listed on the website yet that will be only then released then. So I've got some yarns over there, different skeins, different colours, sort of inspired from around where I live. Nothing to do with this colour theme. The colour theme that I'm doing is for the art bats and the rovings and a selection of rolags in this colour theme. What else? I've got new project bags that I've just listed to the shop, but I'll be doing some of the same design. And there's another one that I'm in the process of creating at the moment and getting together. And that'll be a limited stock that I'll be announcing for that one, because it's got more of a Christmassy vibe to it, though it's definitely not Christmas trees and elves and stuff like that. It's more generic than that, something that you can use all year round. There's one thing I can't stand is doing Christmas fabrics unless I've been asked to do it, because it sits on the shop till next Christmas. Which gets a little bit frustrating, but I'm making these bags at the moment, these ones here. So I had 6 listed. I've got a couple that don't have zips on the back, and some that do have zips on the back. So we've got this, and this is a cotton linen project bag. It's a really good, decent size. It's got a zip on the back with a decent pouch in the back, enough room for you to stick your needle case in there, and a knitting pattern or whatever you've got, or even a small notebook if you like to keep notes and records. And this has been hand stitched on here. And then you've got 2 different levels. It's big enough to put a cardigan or a really big knitting project, or even art bats and a spindle if you're going away for the weekend but you want to keep your stuff safe. So I've got this one in this cotton linen. I have got honeybees in a cotton. I have got another garden theme which is called the herb garden. I have these ones that literally went to the shop today. You've got the lobster and then the crab. And these ones have got zips on the back. There's one of those in there that doesn't have any zips on the back. Yeah, it's that one. It's the herb garden. So that's a little bit different price. They're all different variations of each other. Colours looking gorgeous. Looking forward to the market reveal. Yeah, I'll have all my nutcracker men everywhere. Phil's bought me loads, and I've got some upstairs on my Christmas box. So yeah, they need to come out. Iona, you're going to move. Leave that fly alone. It's not bothering you. So with that in mind, when I do it, because I've explained all this over on my Instagram, but a lot of you don't follow me over on Instagram, or only manage to catch up on the afterwards, which is fine. But on Sunday the 24th of November, I have put aside one set without the gifts of 4 Sundays of Advent 100-gram bats. So that's 4 times 100-gram bats. They're all gift wrapped. Look, I'll show you. There, put to one side. First Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday, fourth Sunday. And I've also done that, the same set, in the yarn that was sent off to another customer, because I had 2 of them, because it made sense to do a batch of those colours. So I have got a second set, but that is on Fulton Merino, not in the blended posh wools that's been sent off to the customer for her pre-order Christmas Advent. So there's that and that. And also will be given away will be one of my new project bags, and probably a set of stitch markers and a row counter that I make. Yeah, so what will happen is on that Sunday and up until the Tuesday afterwards, you'll have Sunday to Tuesday to go and place an order. I will give you a code to use at cart on the Sunday that you have to add in. It will take 10% off your order anyway. But I need you to activate that code so I can write your name down, and then they'll be randomly picked out of a hat on the Tuesday, and then 1, 2, 3 people will have the name picked out. First name will get the art bat, second name will get the yarns, and the third person will get one of my project bags, which are worth £36.50. That's how much they sell at, with the zips in the back, and a set of stitch markers and row counters. So roughly about 45 quid's worth of stuff you will get just for placing an order. If an international order receives one of those, I always add to the postage if it's above what you've already paid. So it's not going to cost you anything else other than what you've paid for. Okay, but you will have to buy X amount of products, probably about £20 worth or more, to be able to activate the code. So anyway, that's what you've got. So you'll get a giveaway. It'll be all interactive. You will see what products I've got new. If you want me to go and rummage through art bats that you've maybe got in your cart at the moment, you've been saving for a rainy day, or just want to treat somebody, then I can pull them off there, take them out of the bag like I did last year, and give you a better view and look at what it looks like when it's opened up out of its bag, and sort of this way instead of on a photograph. So that's it. So I'm going to get going now. Thank you ever so much for being here. What am I doing now? I think I'm popping into town in a minute. Yeah, I've got to pop into town. My birds need food. My chickens and my chicken and my hens, my chicken and my ducks need more food. So I need to go into town and go and get that, and I need to get these all squirreled away, and then start thinking about what I'm doing for rovings. So I will. If you're looking for more detailed information on how I work with a colour wheel, and give you a bit more detailed information on that, a bit more of my experience, and a bit more detail, more in depth is the word I'm looking for, in depth. If you go over to Patreon, you can find me over there at www.patreon.com/WoolieCottage. I'll put it in the descriptions of this once it's uploaded. But if you go over there, you can join as a member. It's £3 or £5, and depending on what level you want to go at. And you can access that video over on my Patreon account. That one will probably never make it to YouTube. You'll get access to exclusive videos that are on Patreon only, but some Patreon videos, the older ones, will eventually, after about 6 months, get released onto YouTube, depending on what's going on in my circumstances in the background. If I haven't got time to film anything, that's when you'll usually find one pop up. So if it looks like, now and again I get, Joe, you're on about Easter here. It's now October. I'm like, yeah, because it's an old video from Patreon. It's archive. So that's why you're getting it now. Life's a bit hectic. So, yeah, so if anything like that ever pops up, I've not gone barking mad. Honestly, I promise you. I've literally just uploaded a video or released a video from a Patreon. So you can pop over there. You can get your first 7 days free, and then after the 7 days you opt for which one you want. Now I will advise, there is a video over there, and I do need to release it onto YouTube, about what's happening with Patreon and Apple. The Apple App Store have started charging Patreon a fee for downloading the app. So if you've got an iPhone or an Apple iPad, okay, don't download the Patreon app onto there, because what happens is if you join as a £3 member, once Apple have taken their cut from that, it goes then to Patreon, to me, okay, and then Patreon take their cut, and instead of me getting, say, £2.25 from the fees that come from there, I will only get £1. That's how much Apple iStore are taking. So if you want to come over to Patreon, if you've got an Android phone, Android tablet, brilliant. Download the app, you can access no problem. If you have got an iPhone and an iPad, don't download the app. Go and use your search engine and find Patreon up there. And then access the members platform via the search engine, or use a desktop. Don't download the app, because it just means that the content creators over on Patreon are not getting that members money that you guys have asked for us to join as a member for. We will barely see any of it. I mean, from that you've got Apple, you've got Patreon that take fees, and then if it goes over to PayPal, which it usually does, then we get PayPal fees as well. So if you're lucky to receive £1 of that £3. That's what it's getting like at the moment. There's always one big corporation out there that wants a bit more money for somebody else's hard work. But like saying, if you do it that way, just search engine, use your computer, use Android, or if you've only got access to an iPhone or an iPad, go via a search engine onto the Patreon platform and then look up for WoolieCottage. Anyway, that's me definitely gone. I am going now. I've left my iron on. My cup of tea's gone cold. What can I say? I hope you really enjoyed this live chat, and I will catch you next Wednesday. Any comments or suggestions of content that you want me to go through next week, or if I just pop on for a natter and maybe do some rollags, let me know in the comments below. I really, really appreciate your interaction with these live chats up until Christmas. Take care for now.